Hey everybody, we're going to do another feeding video tonight. Tonight we're going to do the 29-gallon miscellaneous tank, and in addition to the angelfish and the fish you're going to see up in the water column, I'm hoping you'll be able to get a good look on the bottom at my zebra loaches. They're really cool little guys, but they are pretty reclusive and, well, they're not reclusive, but they're just sort of skittish and shy. They don't really come out when I'm right up against the tank trying to shoot video. So I'm going to hope with the tripod set up a little bit away. You can already see a few of them out there. They're looking around. They know food's coming, but they haven't got theirs yet. I'm crumbling up some algae wafers right now. Occasionally I throw some shrimp pellets in there, or I throw some krill, freeze-dried krill in the tank, and that makes its way to the bottom. And of course the loaches really like any kind of shelled, like snails and crustaceans like that. They tear them up, so the freeze-dried krill is always good for them. So there's 4 of the 5 in the front. Got the rubber lips down on the bottom, and if you pay attention, somewhere in there is also a little dwarf African clawed frog. Some people say that they are just dwarf African frogs, but some people call them dwarf African clawed frogs. They do technically have little claw-like things on their back feet, so I think that's just basically boils down to a matter of preference, whether you want to call them the dwarf clawed frogs or just call them dwarf African frogs. Alright, there's a couple more pieces of algae wafer. Now I'm going to go around the room and get everybody else fed. And hopefully you'll get to see a little more action on the bottom there. My main goal really is to get a good look at the loaches, so hopefully there's enough light in the tank that they're coming out. And once I get done feeding a few of these other tanks, I'll try to get the camera a little closer. See if we can't get a better closer up look. One of these days I'm going to get a feeding video of my gudgeon. I thought about doing that tonight, but it's going to be more difficult. The thing I want to get on video is the gudgeon actually breaking the surface. He'll breach, or she'll breach I should say. If I hold some piece of krill or something up above the water surface, she'll actually jump out of the water. She's actually chomped on the end of my finger before when I've held my finger too close to the surface of the water. She confused that for food. So it's pretty funny to watch. But in order to get it on video, I'm going to have to not only set the tripod up with the camera angled facing down, I'm going to have to find a way to prop it even higher than my tripod stands. So it's just one of those videos that I've been meaning to do forever, but I've never gotten around to actually doing it. So hopefully one of these days that'll get done. I've been talking about it forever, but it really is still in the back of my mind that I'm going to do it. Now you can see the frog on the bottom right. Hopefully he's coming out on video there. It's always hard to tell looking in the viewfinder how that's actually going to look when it's done. And if you'll see there's actually 2 of them that are looking pretty rough now. Off to the right you'll see those 2 GloFish. I think they're called GloFish. The skirt Tetras, they've been genetically modified. And the 2 that are on the right hand side of the tank, they're looking pretty rough. They're sort of, their color's getting faded, their fins are looking a little tattered and raggedy. That, to me, is indicative of old age. That, to me, is what a fish looks like that's just simply wearing out and getting older. I've had some fish that have died that were around the age that, is considered a full lifespan. My gouramis, for example, my snakeskin gouramis, the one died of the swim bladder infection, and then the other one I actually euthanized for the same thing, just assuming it wasn't going to recover from it. And while they may both have died around 5 years old, which falls right within their 4 to 6 year lifespan, I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that they were at the end of their lifespan. I think they died of other issues, whereas these two skirt tetras, and I'm talking about the one that's dead center in the tank right here, and then this one down here. If you get a good look at either of them, you can see they just look rough. They look sort of old and beat up and raggedy, and that to me is more indicative of fish that's just sort of wearing out. I had an angelfish in this tank that had been in there for several years, and she did the same thing. As she got older, her colors just sort of started fading. She got listless, you know, her fins started looking a little bit raggedy, and then one day I came down and she was just so listless and weak that I went ahead and euthanized her as well, because she kept getting drawn into and stuck up against the filter intake. So it was time to, you know, euthanize her and put her down too. So I think that's going to be the case with these GloFish. I'm not really going to add any more fish to this tank just yet. I'm kind of waiting to see how things play out over the next few months. I was actually looking at some fish today that I wouldn't mind putting in there. It would be just simple skirt tetras again, but they were the long fin black skirt tetras, and I really like the black skirt tetras. I got them, like, they were amongst my first fish that I ever got was the black skirt tetras. So just for nostalgia's sake, I kind of enjoy them. And then I've never had the actual long fins, which looked pretty cool. So maybe someday in the future we'll see something different swimming around in here, but while I've still got these GloFish in there, I think we're just going to kind of let them ride for a little while and see what's happening. I've always got something going on down here, so, you know, this is my sort of oldest tank. It's just kind of been ticking over. I mess with this one the least. So we'll see what happens in time. I don't know, again, if you can see him on the bottom sort of right-hand corner. The little frog is down there. He's trying to grab onto a piece of algae wafer that's way too big for him to get in his mouth, but he's biting at it anyway. So that's pretty much it, I guess, for the main bulk of the excitement. As I said before, I really just wanted to make sure everybody got a good look at those zebra loaches, or striated Botias is what I bought them under, but I found out later they're also called zebra loaches. Again, I don't know the difference between a Botia and a loach. I know it's something like all loaches are Botia, but not all Botia are loaches. But I don't know what determines what is, you know, which is which, and what the determining distinctions are. So, you know, it doesn't matter to me. Again, it's all academic. I'm not breeding them. I'm not selling them to anybody under any specific name or anything like that. So, loaches, Botia, whatever. I just call them my striated Botias. So, there you go. That's my 29-gallon miscellaneous tank. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you're subscribed. You don't want to miss anything else I got coming up. I'll see you real soon in the next one.